All right, so are you ready to dive deep into self-hypnosis?
Let's do it.
All right, so we've got this really cool audio program to guide us today. It's a multi-part thing, led by a hypnotherapist named Adam. And he basically walks you through self-hypnosis step by step. It's like having a personal coach for your mind.
Yeah, it's very well structured.
Yeah.
I really like how Adam uses stories and real life examples. I think that helps to make the concepts easier to grasp, especially for people who are new to all this.
Yeah, for sure. He's definitely got a knack for making it relatable,
Yeah,
which is so key with a topic like this.
right.
It can be kind of intimidating for some people.
Yeah, I agree.
So to really help us unpack all this and maybe uncover some hidden gems, in the material, I've asked our expert to join us today.
hmm
Now, you spent years studying hypnosis and the human mind. So what are you most excited to dig into with this program?
Well, one thing that jumps out at me is how Adam addresses those common myths about hypnosis right away.
Oh, yeah, like what?
Like the idea that it's mind control or that you're unconscious when you're hypnotized. Those are big misconceptions.
Huge.
Yeah.
Yeah, he even tells a story in the program about a client who was convinced Adam was going to hypnotize his girlfriend into paying him more money. Like literally trying to use hypnosis for personal gain.
Right. Which is hilarious and also highlights how much people misunderstand what hypnosis really is.
Totally. So what is it then? If it's not about mind control, what's the real deal?
Well, a hypnotist can't make you do anything you don't want to do. That's the bottom line. Think
Yeah.
about stage hypnosis for a second.
Okay, yeah.
It looks like people are acting against their will,
Yeah.
but they're actually choosing to participate and go along with the suggestions. They're playing a role.
Okay, but isn't there still this sense of being under someone else's influence, though?
Not really. You see, all hypnosis is ultimately self-hypnosis.
Right.
The hypnotist is like a guide, helping you access a state of mind that you already have. It's not some external force taking over your brain.
So it's more like internal.
Exactly. It's about tapping into your own potential.
I like that. Okay, so if we all have this hypnotic ability within us, is that what you're saying?
Yes, and Adam calls this natural hypnosis.
Natural hypnosis. Okay.
It's those moments when you get so engrossed in something, a book, a movie, even just daydreaming, that you kind of lose track of time and your surroundings.
Oh, I am.
He even tells this funny story about being at a networking event and spacing out so badly that he totally missed someone asking him a question.
Been there, done that.
Right, we've all had those moments. It's just that with intended hypnosis, like what we're talking about with self-hypnosis, you're choosing to go into that state with a purpose.
So you're being intentional a bit.
Yes, you're using it to create positive change, to achieve a specific goal.
I see. That makes a lot of sense. Okay, so if we're already experiencing these hypnotic states naturally, like you said, what's the benefit of intentionally doing it?
That's where things get interesting, because when you learn to intentionally enter a hypnotic state, you can start to tap into the power of your unconscious mind.
Ooh, the unconscious mind. Okay, now we're getting into the good stuff.
Yes. It's one of the most fascinating and powerful parts of who we are.
Okay, but before we go any further, let's break that down a little bit because I think a lot of people hear unconscious mind and they think of, Freud and all this mysterious stuff. What are we actually talking about here?
It's actually simpler than you might think. Imagine your mind has two parts, the conscious and the unconscious.
Okay, two parts. Got it.
Your conscious mind is what you're using right now to listen to this, to think logically, to make decisions. It's your analytical mind.
Right. So that's the part of me that's thinking, should I order pizza tonight?
Exactly. Now, the unconscious mind is a bit more mysterious. It's the storehouse of all your memories, your habits, your emotions, all those automatic processes that just happen without you thinking about them like breathing.
So it's like the behind-the-scenes operations keeping the whole system running.
Yes, but here's the key. The unconscious mind is incredibly powerful. It's where your beliefs and values are stored, and it has a huge influence on your behavior.
So are you saying that if we could somehow tap into that unconscious mind, we could actually change our behaviors, like even those really stubborn habits?
That's the whole idea behind self-hypnosis. It's about communicating directly with that deeper part of yourself. And Adam uses this great metaphor to explain it. He compares the unconscious mind to a garden.
Okay, a garden. I'm intrigued. Tell me more.
Well, think about it. Whatever seeds you plant in a garden, that's what's going to grow, right?
Yeah, makes sense.
It's the same with your unconscious mind. The thoughts and beliefs you plant there, they're going to take root and influence everything, your actions, your emotions, even how you see the world.
Wow. Okay. So are you saying then if I'm constantly thinking negative thoughts, I'm basically planting weeds in my mental garden?
That's a great way to put it. And Adam gives this really powerful example in the program. He talks about this woman who Every time she smoked, she would tell herself, I needed that.
Oh, wow.
Seemingly harmless phrase, right?
Yeah.
But what she was actually doing was reinforcing her addiction by linking smoking with a need with something essential.
Wow, I never thought about it that way.
Yeah.
That's really interesting.
It's a subtle form of self-hypnosis, but it's happening all the time. Every time you repeat a thought, every time you tell yourself a story about who you are or what you're capable of, you're planting a seed.
So the question is, what kind of seeds are we planting? And how do we start planting the right ones? How do we use this self-hypnosis thing to cultivate a more, positive and productive mental garden?
That's where the idea of becoming the programmer of your own mind comes in. You see, most of us go through life letting our unconscious mind run the show. We're on autopilot. But with self-hypnosis, you can start to take control. You can consciously choose the thoughts and beliefs you want to cultivate.
Okay, I like that. The programmer analogy.
Yeah.
But how do we actually do that? It still feels kind of vague.
It starts with awareness. Pay attention to your self-talk.
Mm.
What are the stories you're telling yourself? Are they empowering or are they limiting?
Right. Because the stories we tell ourselves, they really do shape our reality, don't they?
Absolutely. And Adam talks about this person in a confidence seminar who said, I'm just not a confident person.
Oh, man, I can already see where this is going.
Yeah. Right. And by saying that over and over again, they're reinforcing that belief in their unconscious mind. It becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy.
So how do we break out of those negative patterns? Is it just a matter of positive thinking?
Yeah.
Like if I just tell myself I'm confident enough times, will that actually make a difference?
It's more than just thinking positive thoughts. It's about using the language of self-hypnosis to communicate directly with your unconscious mind. And remember, the unconscious mind is symbolic and metaphorical. It responds to vivid imagery, emotions, sensations.
So instead of just saying I'm confident, I might visualize myself, speaking confidently in front of a large crowd, feeling that surge of energy and self-assurance.
Exactly. That's how you create a powerful suggestion that resonates with your unconscious mind. And the great thing about Adam's program is that he walks you through these steps. He gives you specific techniques and exercises to bypass that critical conscious mind and speak directly to the subconscious.
I'm starting to see how all these pieces fit together. The myths, the types of hypnosis, the two minds, the garden metaphor, the programmer analogy, it all points to this idea of harnessing the power of our unconscious minds to create lasting change.
Precisely. And it's a process, a journey of self-discovery. But the rewards can be incredible. Adam even talks about his own experience working on a banana plantation in Israel.
A banana plantation? Wow. Okay.
He had no conscious awareness of self-hypnosis at the time, but looking back, he realizes how those experiences of pushing through physical discomfort and exhaustion were shaping his beliefs about what he was capable of.
So even without realizing it, he was planting those seeds of resilience and determination.
Exactly. And that's what's so exciting. We can all learn to do this intentionally. We can choose to plant the seeds that will help us flourish, to cultivate the mental garden that will allow us to achieve our goals and live a more fulfilling life.
Okay, I'm definitely feeling inspired here.
Yeah.
But I have to admit, a part of me is still a little skeptical. It all sounds a bit, magical. Like, can simply changing my thoughts really have that much impact on my behavior?
It's understandable to be skeptical. We're so used to thinking of our conscious minds as being in control. But remember, the unconscious mind is far more powerful than we realize. It's like an iceberg. The conscious mind is just the tip, while the vast majority lies beneath the surface, influencing our thoughts, feelings, and actions.
Okay, that's a helpful image.
Yeah.
So how do we start to tap into that hidden power?
One of the first steps is learning to enter and exit the hypnotic state. And Adam does a great job of demystifying this process in the program. He emphasizes that it's not some strange or mystical experience, but rather a natural state that we all access regularly.
Like when we're daydreaming or completely engrossed in a movie?
Exactly. It's about becoming aware of those moments and learning to control them. And it's not difficult. Adam provides simple techniques like focusing on your breath or a specific object that help you relax and shift your awareness inward.
So it's like training your mind to enter that relaxed, focused state on demand.
Exactly. And like any skill, it takes practice. The more you practice, the easier it becomes to enter that state and access the power of your unconscious mind.
Okay, so we're starting to get into the practical aspects of self-hypnosis here, but we've got more ground to cover. So stay tuned for part 2, where we'll delve even deeper into how to use these techniques to achieve your goals and create lasting change. Okay, so we're back, and ready to keep going with this deep dive into self-hypnosis.
It's exciting stuff.
It is, and I think we've laid a really good foundation so far,
Yeah.
talking about the myths, the different types of hypnosis, and those two minds we all have.
Yeah, now it's time to get practical and see how we can actually use these techniques to make real changes in our lives.
I'm all for that. So where do we start? How do we bridge that gap between our conscious and unconscious minds?
Well, one of the first things Adam talks about in the program is the importance of paying attention to those subtle signals our unconscious mind sends us.
Oh, you mean like intuition?
Yeah, exactly. Like those gut feelings you get sometimes that tell you something's not quite right. He actually shares a really interesting story about a meeting he had with his bank manager in the early days of his business.
Oh, yeah, I remember that one.
Yeah. He was projecting confidence, saying all the right things. But deep down, he felt this nagging sense of unease.
And it turned out his intuition was right.
Yeah, the bank ended up rejecting his loan application. And looking back, he realized that his unconscious mind was trying to warn him.
That's fascinating.
Yeah.
So it's like that little voice inside us that sometimes knows things our conscious mind hasn't caught up with yet.
That's a great way to put it. And Adam emphasizes that we should listen to those signals. They're often a sign that our conscious and unconscious minds are out of alignment.
So how do we get those two parts of ourselves working together more harmoniously?
Well, Adam provides a step-by-step process for entering and exiting a hypnotic state. And he makes it sound so simple, like something we already do naturally.
It's like he's saying anyone can do this.
Yeah, pretty much. He emphasizes that it's not some mystical experience. It's just a natural state of focused attention that we all access regularly.
So like when we're completely absorbed in a book or a movie or even just lost in thought.
Exactly. It's about becoming aware of those moments and learning to control them. And the techniques he teaches are very straightforward things, like focusing on your breath or a specific point in the room.
Simple but powerful.
Exactly. And the more you practice, the easier it becomes to slip into that relaxed, focused state.
He even suggests making self-hypnosis a part of your daily routine.
Which I think is a great idea. Just like you might meditate or do yoga, you can also set aside some time each day to connect with your unconscious mind.
And you don't need any special equipment or anything.
No, you can do it anywhere, anytime. It's like having this incredible tool for self-improvement right at your fingertips.
Okay, so let's say I'm sold and I want to give this a try. What's a good first step?
Adam emphasizes the importance of setting clear intentions. So ask yourself, what do you want to achieve with self-hypnosis? Is it to overcome a fear, improve your sleep, boost your creativity?
Okay, so have a goal in mind. Got it.
And once you have that goal, you can start to craft suggestions that are tailored to your specific needs.
And these suggestions, they're basically like positive affirmations, right?
They can be, but they're more than just affirmations. Remember, the unconscious mind responds to imagery and emotions. So your suggestions should be vivid, sensory-rich, emotionally engaging.
Ah, okay. So instead of just saying, I am confident, I might visualize myself giving a presentation, feeling that sense of calm and assurance.
Exactly. The more you can engage your senses and emotions, the more powerful the suggestion will be.
This is really starting to click for me now. It's not just about repeating words, it's about creating a whole experience in your mind.
And that's where the real magic happens. When you can tap into that imaginative power, you can literally reprogram your subconscious mind.
So it's like we're not just thinking our way into new behaviors, we're actually feeling our way into them.
That's a great way to put it. It's about engaging the whole being, not just the intellect.
I said earlier that I was a little skeptical, but now I'm actually feeling pretty excited about the possibilities.
And that's what's so amazing about self-hypnosis. It empowers you to take control of your own mind and create the life you want.
Adam even poses this thought-provoking question at the end of the program.
Yeah.
One about how much more we know than we know that we know.
Yeah, it really makes you stop and think, doesn't it?
It does. It makes you realize how much potential we all have that we're not even aware of.
It's a reminder that we're capable of far more than we think.
Well said. So for anyone listening who's feeling inspired to embark on their own journey of self-discovery, remember the power to change lies within you. Embrace the possibilities, trust the process, and get ready to unlock your full potential.
You got it. It's all there, waiting to be discovered.
And we'll be back with part 3 to explore even more techniques and strategies for using self-hypnosis to achieve your goals. All right, so here we are back again for the final part of our deep dive into self-hypnosis.
Time to bring it all together.
I know, right? We've covered so much ground already, but now it's time to get really practical.
Yeah, let's see how we can actually use these techniques to make some real changes.
Because that's what it's all about,
Yeah.
right? It's not just about understanding the theory, it's about applying it to our lives.
Exactly. And Adam's program does a great job of giving us a roadmap for that.
One of the things that really stood out to me was his emphasis on setting clear intentions.
Ah, yes. Intentions are key.
Because if we don't know what we want to achieve with self-hypnosis, how are we going to get there right?
It's like setting off on a journey without a destination in mind.
Exactly. So we need to ask ourselves, what are we hoping to change or improve? Is it our confidence, our sleep habits, our creativity?
Whatever it is, get clear on that intention first. And then you can start crafting suggestions that are aligned with that goal.
And these suggestions, they're like little messages we're sending to our unconscious mind, right?
Exactly. And the key is to make them vivid, sensory-rich, emotionally engaging.
Because remember, the unconscious mind responds to imagery and emotions, not just dry logic.
Right. So instead of just saying, I am confident, you might imagine yourself speaking in front of a large audience, feeling that sense of ease and self-assurance.
Ah, okay. So it's about creating a whole experience in your mind, not just repeating words.
Precisely.
Yeah.
And the more you can engage your senses and emotions, the more powerful the suggestion will be.
This is really starting to make sense now. It's like we're not just thinking our way into new behaviors, we're actually feeling our way into them.
That's a great way to put it. It's about engaging the whole being, not just the intellect.
And once we have those suggestions crafted, how do we actually deliver them to our unconscious mind?
Well, that's where the hypnotic state comes in. And Adam provides a very clear and easy to follow process for entering and exiting that state.
He makes it sound so simple, almost like something we already do naturally.
It is. We all access those light hypnotic states regularly, whether we realize it or not. Think about those times when you're completely absorbed in a book or lost in a daydream.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I get it. So it's about becoming aware of those moments and learning to control them.
Exactly. And the techniques he teaches are very straightforward things, like focusing on your breath or a specific object in the room.
Simple but effective.
And the more you practice, the easier it becomes to slip into that relaxed, focused state.
And once you're in that state, that's when you can start delivering those powerful suggestions to your unconscious mind.
That's right. It's like having a direct line to the control panel of your mind.
This is so cool. I'm really starting to see the potential here.
Yeah.
You know, earlier I admitted to being a little skeptical, but now I'm actually feeling really excited about the possibilities.
I think that's a common experience. A lot of people start off skeptical, but once they see how self-hypnosis actually works, they become believers.
Because it's not magic, it's science.
Exactly. And it's a science that we can all use to improve our lives.
Adam even asks this really thought-provoking question at the end of the program.
Oh, you mean the one about how much more we know than we know that we know?
Yeah, that one.
Yeah.
That's mind-blowing, isn't it? It makes you realize how much potential lies dormant within us.
It's a reminder that we're all capable of far more than we think.
Well said. So for anyone listening who's feeling inspired to embark on their own journey of self-discovery, remember this: the power to change lies within you.
It does, and it's waiting to be unlocked.
Embrace the possibilities, trust the process, and get ready to achieve amazing things. And that's a wrap on our deep dive into self-hypnosis.
It's been a fascinating journey.
It really has. We hope you've enjoyed it and that you're feeling empowered to tap into the incredible power of your own mind. Until next time, keep exploring, keep learning, and keep diving deep.